And in this video we are going to talk about method reference. And as we know, method reference is nothing but it's the replacement of the what? Lambda expression. So whenever we are writing a lambda expression which is arrow marks, we have to remove those marks and we have to apply the method reference is nothing but this double colon. So this double colon is nothing but method reference. Okay, so we can see like how we can use the method reference in the particular method, particular constructor, and particular static method, non-static methods, how we can use the static reference with the help of the object, each and everything in this video. So let us continue this video and watch until end. Okay, so in this method reference, so method reference are the features introduced in the Java 8. So it's also part of the Java 8, and Java 8, you know, it's a very important. It's provide a shorthand syntax for invoking the method or constructor. So whenever interviewer or somebody asks you, hey, do you have an idea about what is the method reference and how he help us, okay, and what is the purpose of this method reference basically? So you can tell only one thing is okay. So method reference is a replacement of the lambda expressions, and we are writing a shorthand syntax for that. Okay, this is the benefits we have. Okay, next, they allow developer to pass a method or constructor reference as a functional interface. That is also a good point. Okay, they allow developer to pass a method or constructor reference as a functional interface argument instead of providing a lambda expression. And one thing you have to remember guys, double colon symbol is nothing but method reference symbol. You can see here so many people are getting confused. They are saying like, okay, I don't know what is the symbol, what is the use of this symbol. So this is nothing but this is the replacement of lambda expression, okay, which is nothing but method reference. That's it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. There are four types of the method reference in the Java. It means that we can apply four place our method reference. Let's see what is the four place. So method reference we can apply to the static method. Method reference we can apply to the instance method for a object, and reference to a instance method for the particular object, reference method to the constructor. So while calling it those four type of the methods or constructor, we can use the what? Method reference. So in that place only we are using the what? Lambda expression. And what is the lambda expression? Lambda expression is nothing but it's providing an implementation of the functional interface. So basically anyhow we are going to do work with the functional interface. It means that, okay, so this is the things we have to know about it, and this is the four way we can use the method reference, and it's a very important. Okay, so this is the things you can see what is the method reference versus Java lambda expressions. So here if you see, method reference and lambda expression both are part of the Java 8 features, that is clear. But method reference, if you see here, while calling s.toString, we are using for the method reference a string double colon to a string. While calling s lambda expression s.to lowercase, we can use a string double colon to lowercase. While calling s hyphen s dot length, we can call a string double colon length. While comparing it to a string, you can see here, while comparing it to a strings, we can use it lambda expression. Here you can use compare to. Here you can use compared to object. Here you can use compare to. So this is basically things you have to understand, and I will teach you one by one each and everything use. Okay, what is the method reference, how we are using, how we are providing implementations for that. Okay, let's go to the next. So if you see here, reference to a static method, the method reference refer to a static method. So for example, this is the first point. While calling a static method or referring a static method, how we can write a code basically. So if you see here, we are calling this particular static method with the help of the class name, double colon is nothing but method reference and method name. Okay. For example, you can see here array list dot age list, apple, banana, orange. We can apply with the stream, and in the stream we can apply the map, and through the map we can write like a string double colon to uppercase. Okay, so this is the use of functional interface, or you can say like method reference. Okay, and through the for each also we can print each and every element which is available inside the array list. Okay, so this is the basically syntax, and in this syntax you can see two places we have used the method reference. Okay, I hope guys you understood, but we have to do with the code, and we have to understand what is basically the reference to a static method and how it will work. Okay, so let me give you some example. Okay, so while giving example, first I have to clear what is the function interface, what is the lambda expression, and then after you have to understood what is the method reference and how method reference will help us. Okay, so let me quickly create one package or class, you can say. Okay, and inside this class I will write method reference test. So this is my test class, and I have not given the correct package, so I will change here no issue. Okay, it will take some time. I will write here method reference okay, and I will change the package name, move to the method reference. Okay, so automatically it will create one package here, you can see. Okay, and our classes is also moved inside this. Okay, method reference. Okay, I hope guys you understood what is the classes we have created as of now, and I am going to give you some example what is the method reference exactly, because so many people are getting confused what is the method reference and how it will work. Okay, so those things I have to clear first. Okay, so let me write one main method here. Okay, and while writing a main methods I will create one array list. So first I want list, and through the list I will create one array list, and in this list I will store some integer value. Okay, so let me give integers, and here I will write list equal to list of, we have a list, so list is a one of the interface, this interface having a of method. So through the of method we can assign directly element inside the list. Okay, this is the one way, 40 50, let it give up to 50 only. Okay, 50 only. Okay, so this is the value having in the array list. Now I want to write a lambda expressions. For example, if you know for each loop. Okay, so if I write here list dot for each loop. Okay, so if you see here clearly dot for each loop, you can see here it's taking argument as a consumer, and consumer is what? It's a one of the class, it's a functional interface. So it will take the help, for each method will take the help of the functional interface which is consumer, and consumer having a method. Okay, so what we can do, let me open this basically let me open this method so that you can see like what is the method and how it will work. Okay, if you see here it's taking the consumer, so whatever the object you pass it will accept, it will store here, and once it is stored it will apply the required not null actions, then after it will apply the for loop method, and one by one it will take the data and it will accept it, and it will call this method, and it will print. Okay, xon dot accept. Basically, if you open this accept method, it's available inside the consumer class. Okay, and consumer is nothing but it's a function, and it's nothing but it's a functional interface, and which is introduced inside the Java 1.8. Okay, so also for each also we can say it's introduced in the Java 1.8 only. You can see here it's a default void for each method, and it's available from since 1.8. so this is also a part of the what, Java 1.8. so let's come back, and here, so if it is a functional interface, we can write like that. Okay, we can provide a body e hyphen lambda expression and system dot out dot println. Okay, sys out we can write, and here we can pass our e value. Okay, once you pass, you can see here we have not used anything, we have just used the lambda expressions here. Okay, if I run this code, you can see what is the output: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Whatever the value having, it's printed. How it's printed? Do you have an idea about it? No. As of now, I think you don't have an idea about it. Okay, so basically this is the list, right? This list having a multiple numbers, which is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And we are using the for each loop. For each loop will taking the parameter as a functional interface. So whatever the object you have written this is capable to store consumer. Okay, because consumer is taking one parameter. Okay, and this is nothing but it's a one parameter, and we are passing this parameter to the consumer. Okay, and those parameter consumer will take, and those consumer having a one method called xon. Okay, accept, and those accept method will call internally, and it will do the work for us. So like that this for each method will implemented, guys. Okay, up now the problem is this is the for each method. Okay, fine, but here I don't want to use the lambda expressions, I want to use the method reference. What I have to do, we can remove the parameters, we can remove the this one parameter also, and we can directly write here system dot out, after that double color, and it will work. Why it will work? How it will work? Do you have idea about it? No, because method reference will say, okay, this is the class name, this is the object, and through that object we are calling this method, and this method is nothing but, this is basically a method. If you open this method, you can see this is a void method, non-static method, and this method will take one parameter automatically. So automatically it will pass this data, and it will accept by the consumer. Okay, because consumer internally working for that for its methods. Okay, and it will take this data, and it will print it. So through that also you are able to print your all those data using this what, functional interface or method reference, you can say. Okay, so if I print it, you can say, okay, all those value are printed. So that is the power of method reference. I hope you not understood clearly each and everything, but just I have introduced you. Okay, this is the function interface, and this is the lambda expression, and this is the method reference. Okay, so if you see this class, so any class which is annotated with the function interface and having a only one abstract method, that is called a function interface, right? And we understood what is the lambda expression. So previously I have written here e hyphen arrow bracket arrow, and then after we have written a method. So that is called a lambda expression, and this is called a functional interface. Okay, let's take some other example. Okay, let's take some other example, and what I'm going to do is, let me remove this line of the code. Okay, And here I'm going to write, let me remove unimported. Here I'm going to create one function interface. Okay, my function, my function I have created. Inside this okay, basically this is the interface, so I have to give the interface keyword, and I have to annotate this interface as a functional interface. This is the one things. Okay, and inside this we have to create one void. Okay, and void we can write a one method called get method basically, and this will also not take any parameter. So this is the one of the function interface we have created. Now I want to provide a implementations of that function interface. We have already know, but I'm not going to create a one more class and I will provide a function interface for that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one here, one static methods, publics statics void get, or anything method you can write which is data, and this method inside this I'm going to write one s out. Okay, s out, and here I will write Java is s out. And always keep in your mind, we are going to implement a static functional interface, a reference to the static method. So we are going to provide a reference, this functional interface reference for this static method. So what is this? This is the static method, which is public static void main, and we are going to provide a through the functional method reference. Okay, and we can call this method. So if I want to call this method, I have it one way, which is creating an object of method reference test, t equal to new method reference test. Okay, and simply I will call t dot what, data. So this is the one way to call it. Okay, also I can call directly also. Okay, directly I can call data because it's a static method. Okay, so I can call like that also. So this is the first way I can call a static method inside the same class. If I am calling from the another class, I have to create object and then I have to call it. Otherwise I can call with the class name also. That is also possible. Okay, fine. Let me run this. Okay, so once I run, you can see the output Java is awesome, Java is awesome. It's a calling the 2 times. That is fine. Now I don't want to call it. Okay, I don't want to call it basically. Okay, then what I have to do? If I don't want to call it, what I have to do for that? Okay, so basically what I am going to do is I am going to make as a functional interface. Okay, so my function is what? It's a one of the function. Okay, let me write here. Okay, my function, and my equal to, what is the class name? So class name is method reference test. Okay, and then after I am going to write double colons. Okay, and then I will write here what? Data. Okay, data. How is it working? It's working as of now, and then I will call my dot data methods. Okay, my dot data methods. So I will call here my dot data methods. Okay, and this saying like, okay, create a cast to the my. Okay, so basically my function is not a reference to that. Okay, basically it's not providing a reference, but I'm trying to call with that one. Okay, and this is the method reference test, which is providing what? Data, right? So this is what we are writing is here is we are writing a method reference basically. Okay, so while writing a method reference and providing a data, so basically this is the method name, which is data. So if I call here my dot get method, okay, my dot get method, and if I run it, what do you expect? What is the output? Java is JSON. How? How is it possible to give a Java is JSON? Because I have called the get method, but it's printing this method. Why? That is nothing but functional interface. But I'm not going to confuse you guys. I will explain you each and everything. But as of now, it's fine. Okay. And what basically it's happened is this is the function interface, and this function interface, we know like what is the method reference. So we have make those function interface as a method reference, and through that we have write a shorthand code for the creating a object and referencing those particular object in that. Okay, and like that we have done it. Okay, if I don't want to write a method reference, so this is called method reference to a static method. For example, I want to write a lambda expression. Lambda expressions, and I have to provide the implementations of this particular method. Okay, what I have to do? I have to write here my function, okay, and function equal to, I have to write here, okay, what is the method name? So method is get. It will not pass any parameter, so I will not pass any parameter. I have to write a lambda expression, so I will write a lambda expressions, open and close. So this is basically a body we have to provide it, right? And inside the body we can write a s out, and inside this out I will write okay fine. Okay, and after that we can write fun method. We can call the fun method fun dot what? Get. So once I call this fun dot get, what will happen? Okay, because we have provided the implementation and then we have called fun dot get, so it will print this line of the code. Okay, because of the function interface implementations. Okay, if you see here what it's printing, okay fine, because of that function interface, and then after we have used the method reference. Okay, I want to convert this particular lambda expression into the what? Method reference. So we can do it, no issue in that. It's a very easy to do it, but let it be, and we can discuss in the depth. But I hope as of now you understood what is the method reference. Only you have to remember these things, double colon. Okay, I will teach you each and everything. Thank you so much. One is reference to the instance method of an object. The method reference refer to a instance method of an object. For example, we have a object reference and instance method name. Okay, and we have to call this method. So for example, we have a list here. If you see, we have a array list, and inside the array list we have used the stream, and after stream we have a one map method. So what is a string? A string is a one of the class, and through the class we are calling this length methods basically. And here we are using the for each loop, and we are calling here with the help of the object reference println method. So this is the example of reference to a instance method of object. You can see here. Okay, let's do the practical, so then after we can understand reference to a instance method of the particular object. Okay, but let's go with the reference of the instance method of the object. Okay, So if I show you, let's go to the Eclipse, and we have already discussed, okay, this is the method reference, okay, which is a static method reference. So we have created one function interface, and those function interface have created one static method also, and this static method, for that we have created one method reference with the help of the method reference symbols, and we have called the get method, and automatically while calling a get method, it's calling this a static method. So how basically it's working is, let me remove the lambda implementations. I hope you already know. Okay, and this is the static method reference. Okay, and if I run you can see like, okay, this is the output and how it's calling it. Okay, Java is ASA. Why it's calling this method? Because we have given the method reference. So this is the function interface, which is my function, and this is the method reference. Method reference means this is the class name, okay, and this is the method name, which is data we have given. So this class method name reference we have given here inside the my. So my is internally call this particular get method, and internally it will call this data object. So this is the power of the method reference. Let me create one more class, okay, and let's give the name called instance method reference. Instance method reference. So if I say like, okay, instance method reference, it means that I'm saying basically, okay, for example, I have to create an instance. So before we have to create an instance, we have to create one main methods. Okay, inside the main methods, for example, I have a one particular function called my functions. Okay, so this is the function which is predefined. Okay, so if I write here function, okay, function is available in Java 1.8 onwards only, and this function having a one method called let me open it. Okay, so having a method called inside this apply, and apply will take one value and it will return also one value. That time you can take the help of this function classes. Okay, but right now I don't require it as of now. Okay, I don't require it. Let me create one interface. Okay, interface my function, okay, data, and this is my function, and inside this I will create one simple method which is void get data, and then after I will make this as a function interface. So I will annotate it at the function interface, and then after inside this class I have to create a object. Okay, I have to create an object of this particular methods. So for example, in this class having a one method called public. Okay, let me change my system language. Okay, so previously we have seen the static method, but now we have to talk about non-static method. So public void my methods, and this is the one methods, and inside these methods I will print I am good instance method or reference. Okay, and I want to call this method. So previously in this case we have created one function interface, and make sure whatever the return type and whatever the parameters it's take the method, same thing you have to write here also, void or get data. If you make something different, it will not work. Same thing I have written here also, void, and there is no data parameters, void, nothing parameters data. But only difference is this is the static methods, okay, and this is a non-static methods, okay. It's a instance methods, okay. Now what I have to do is I want to create an object of the instance method reference. What I have to do for that? So simply I can write here instance method reference, okay, ref equal to new instance method reference, okay. If I write like that, let me write like that. If I write like that, it will work? It will not working right now. So anyhow we have to write a new object and we have to create an object for that. And after creating an object, we have a one function interface which is supporting this function internally, okay. So for that I will create my function reference, my function reference data, okay, and I will give the name called something like data, and then after I will write rf object of reference, and then after I will give double colons, and I will call here my methods, okay. So this is the method instance method reference basically I have given here. And then after what we can do is we can call data dot our get data methods. And once I call this get data method, because of this making the reference of this object, it's automatically call this method my method, okay. Let me run this, okay. So if you see what is the output, I am good. Instance methods are a reference, okay. Same thing if you are taking any data here, anything, if you are taking any data here, you have to take the data. For example, I want to take string s, okay, and you have to return anything like good, otherwise as of now don't return anything. So get data. So here also, in this also you have to give here a string and something d or data, then only it will work. So whatever the reference we have, same thing data having this implemented classes also, which means non-static method also, then only it will work. And once we pass here data, okay, then this data we can concatenate here, which is plus d, okay. And if I run this, you can see the output, okay. So this is the way. For example, I have to do the additions. So I will create one more function interface, okay, and I will give the name called additions interface, additional functional interface, open close, and I have to add the value to value, and I have to return also. So I will write int add, this is the method reference, and here it will take two value, int a comma int b, okay. I can write here, right. And same thing I have to write here also, okay, which is publics and int and addition method, addition addition methods. And here you can write something called int a comma int b, and from that you have to return a plus b additions. So for that also you can write a fonts interface, but only things is you have to change this data. Okay, so copy this and paste it again, and here you have to write, instead of the fonts interface you have to take this interface help. Okay, so based on the interface only you can choose and you can give the functional reference here, and this should be addition, so add you can write, and this is the object reference, and here you have to change the method which is addition. Okay, and then after here we have to call add dot addition, add methods, and here if you pass 10 or 20, and let me print directly, so I can write s out. Okay, and I will print directly those data here. So if I run this code, you can see what is the output. So basically output is 30. How? So how it's given is like we have a one method and we have to make this as a functional interface. Okay, so first we have one function interface, then we can do it. Okay, for example, you don't have a function interface, and you don't want to create your own function interface. Then what we can do? And you have to implement these methods. You have to call these methods, okay, with the function interface only. In that case, you don't want to take any tensions, and simply what you can do is you can take the help of the inbuilt function. Inbuilt function means predefined function. So we have a predefined function called consumer, producer, functions, predicate. So lots of the functions are already available. So for example, if I want to do for the additions, so for additions it will take 3 parameters. So if it is take 3 parameters, I have to take by function. So we have a one method, we have a one function called by function. Let me show you by function. Here you have to send what is the parameters you are going to pass. So we are going to pass integer, so you have to write integer. Okay, here you have to pass also integer, because we are going to pass integer parameters. And what is the return type? So return type is also nothing but integer, so we can take 3 integers. If you check out this by function having a one method. Okay, it's a predefined function interface. It's taking the three types of the three data. Okay, so first two are the, if you see here, it's a return type and having apply methods, and it will take 2 parameters only. So if you have a requirement of the 2 parameters, you can go and you can implement this method, these classes or interface, and you can utilize it. For example, I want to write a function interface for this method, which is instance method. What I can do is basically, so this is the addition, and this will take 1 parameters, 2 parameters, and after that we have to return the value also. So if I go with the some other function which is predicate, consumer, or function, that will not work. Okay, only work which is taking the 3 parameters. 2 is parameters with of the method, and 1 is what? Return type. So here I will write bi, and then after I have to write here rf, which is functional interface, instance of the method. So rf and double colon, and I have to write here addition. It will take, yes, definitely it will store. And if you see, we don't want to create any additional function interface, we don't want to create it. You can use the predefined functions only, and we can store this data. And once it is stored, so we have just seen bi having a one method called apply. So we can call this apply method, and we can pass 200, and here you can pass 500. And once it is add, what I will do is I will display directly. So let me write inside the s out. So I will write s out, and inside the s out I will put this data, put this calling of the method. So it will call and it will print our output also. That is called a what? Method reference with predefined function. So I hope you understood like what is the use of the predefined function, which is by function, or maybe the function, maybe the consumer. So every function interface having a different work, different situations you can use it. Okay, different purpose you can use it. Okay, so even you can use the predefined, even you can use your own function interface also, that is possible. So I hope you understood about it. Okay, let's go and understand about the third one. Okay, so if I go to the third ones, if you see here, this is the reference to a instance method of the particular object. It means that we have a one string called str hello. This is the literal string literals, and we are using the predicate here. So predicate string, predicate str, double colons equals. So what is the str? Str is a literal object reference, and we have given double colon equals. And what we can do, predicate dot test method we can call, and we can pass the hello word, and it will compare it. Okay, str, which is hello word, and this hello word, if it is equal, it will return boolean, which is true and false. Okay, if do you want to do the practice, you can go and practice it. So this is called, is nothing but what we can call, this is the reference to a instance method of the particular object. I hope guys you understood. I don't want to do the practical for that, you can try your own. If you see here, this is the list of the integer numbers. So basically reference to a constructor. The method reference refer to the constructor, for example class name and double colon new. Through that you can create a object of the particular constructor. So for example we have a one list of the integers, and if you want to create a object for the, you have to convert like each and every value into the integer to the a string. So we can use a string double colon value of, so it will create a one object or instance you can say. So this is the use of the constructors. Okay, but we can do the practicals and we can understood. Let's take the example of the constructor method reference. Okay, so that is also very important if you see guys. Okay, so this is also very important. Let me open it. Okay, so this is the reference to a particular constructor, that is also important. Okay, so let me write a code so that you can understood in the better way. Okay, so let me create one more class. Okay, and I will give the name called constructor reference test. So constructor reference test, this is the class name. Okay, so while doing a reference for our own function interface, so we have to create our own function interface. So let me create one function interface which is name called my function interface. Okay, my function interface. So this is the interface we have created, and meanwhile I have to create the object for the one utility class. So for that I will create one utility class also. So the class name is nothing but a student. I will create student, a student. Inside this students I will take one name which is nothing but private string name. So let me take private string name. This variable I have taken, and also I need to create one constructor for that. So I will write a student. Okay, and while writing a constructors I can do one thing is like public student string name I have to take. So this one I will take like that, string s okay, and this dot name equal to s. So this is the constructor we have created. Let's make it public. Okay, and then after we have a getter setter method. So let me generate the getter setter method. So you can right click on that, go to the source, and then after you can generate the getter setter here. Okay, simply you can click on the name and you can generate it getter setter. Okay, so it's generated the getter setter method also for us. Okay, so this is the utility class basically, which is a student, and inside the student we have created one private string name, and we have given one constructor which is a student, and through that only we are going to create a constructor of reference. Okay, for the reference for the constructors. Okay, and we have created one function interface also. So while creating an object for this student class, we have to make this function, which is return type is nothing but a student, and get a student, So this is the one methods I have given, and let me give the something called like that. Okay, so now this is capable to provide a reference of this particular constructor, and through that we can create a object. But one more thing, mark this function interface as a function interface. Okay, that is good. Okay, now that is fine. Okay, and we are going to provide a implementations for that. So how we can do basically? Okay, so inside this test class we can write one main method, and inside the main method, first we can take the help of this our own method reference. Okay, and I will write here my function interface. Okay, this my function interface mfi equal to what I have to write. So this my function interface mf equal to, I have to write a student. Okay, a student, and then after, so if you write with the lambda expressions, you have to, how you can pass it, you have to write like that. You have to pass the name msg or name anything, and then after you have to write like that. Okay, and then after you have to write new student. Okay, and in this student you have to pass nothing but name. So this is the one way with the lambda expressions we can do, but I don't want to do with the lambda expression. So what we can do, we have taken the help of the my function interface, and this function interface will also return the same thing, a student object. So here what I will do is, I will write a student which is class name, and I will give function interface and new and semicolon. What will happen, it will create a object for that basically. Okay, now what I will do is mfi dot, I will call those methods. Which one methods? So get a student. Okay, function interface methods, and here I will pass Java is a sum. Okay, once I pass it, Java is a sum, so this object will be created. Okay, but I want method also. So what I will do is, this will return one object. So I don't want object, I want those object data also. So this is the object, then after dot get name I will call, and I will print it. Okay, if you see the output, you can understood okay how we are creating an object for the function interface. So with the function interface we can give the reference of the what are the method, what are the constructor, maybe the static method, maybe the non-static methods, we can give the reference. Okay, so here we have given a method reference, or we can give something else. So this is nothing but method reference we have given for a student class for creating an object with the help of the constructor. So this is the predefined function interface we have used. Okay, and if you see here, it will take one data and it will return also one data. So in that case, you can take the help of the function and you can implement the same code with without creating your own function interface. We have, so I will remove it. I don't want to create my function interface. Okay, and I will take the help of the inbuilt function interface, which is predefined. So I will take the help of the function. Okay, function is one of the predefined interface. What is the parameter? So parameter is nothing but a string. What is the return type? So return type is nothing but we have to give a student. Okay, a student, and here we have to write function equal to what? A student, and a student class name you can give double colons. And what is the method names we have to give here? Okay, which is the method reference name. Okay, basically we have to give it. Okay, so in that case, while going with the function, we can pass here like whatever the new. So through the new only we can create an object, and once object is created, we can write font dot. Okay, and function having an apply method, and in the apply we can pass very nice. Okay, so this will create an object and it will call the method also. And now this object we can store. So let me store it. So once I store, you can see it's given the student object only, and once it is given the student object, we can print the student name with the help of s dot get name, and let me run it. So once I run, you can understand, okay, this is the very nice. So this is the basically functional interface we have done. Okay, and it's very important basically. Okay, while going with the method, while going with the static method, while going with the constructor, you don't want to write a lots of the code, and method difference is just a replacement of the whatever the lambda expressions we have. So these things we can do with the lambda expression also, but we have to write lots of the code. But it's very easy to maintain with the help of the inbuilt or predefined functions. So in Java 1.8, it's given lots of the function. Okay, so we can utilize those function and you can use it. If you see here, predicate, consumer, function, supplier, apart from these buy functions, and apart from lots of the functions are the available in the Java 1.8. Just we have to understand like what is the predicate method, and what is the return type, what is the parameter, what is the return type, what is the parameter, what is the return type, what is the parameter. And through that, based on our situation, we can use the predefined functional interface, and we can provide the method reference also, we can provide the lambda expressions also, and we can do it. Okay, so I hope guys you understood. Okay, whatever the we have understand as of now regarding the functional interface and method reference, lambda expression, and it's very important. Okay, so try to do the practice so that only you can achieve each and everything. Okay, thank you so much.